Okay, this beer takes us again to Idaho Springs, Colorado, and interesting stuff. We've done their maple nut brown ale before, which I thought was very, very average at best. Not a huge fan. And yeah, I looked on the Mix of Six aisle and I saw this, and I was saying, well, it looks like the maple brown thing, and I almost passed over it until I realized it's not. It's the Imperial nut brown ale by Tommyknocker. It looks a lot. I don't know. The label just didn't strike me as anything really. But this is a 9% ABV American brown ale, according to Beer Advocate. According to Rate Beer, they say American brown ales can't be 9%. What the heck are you talking about? We're going to call it an American strong ale instead. But almost completely glossed over this beer. But when I see the 9% ABV and a Mix of Six for $11.99, I say, I'm going to get a couple of these and put them in the Mix of Six, is what I basically did. This gets an 84 on Beer Advocate, gets an 81 on Rate Beer. It was brewed to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Tommyknocker. Brewed with pure maple syrup, chocolate and crystal malts as well. The reason I'm cringing a little bit is because one of the more acclaimed beers, Canadian Breakfast Stout by Founders, I had a chance to sample it a few years back, and I did not like that maple syrup kind of taste to it. I know a lot of people really, really love that beer. But from what I remember, that just small little tasting that I had of it, I'm not a fan. The Tommyknocker legend is on this as well, which I believe I've already done, but maybe I haven't read it. Tommyknocker slipped into the mining camps of Idaho Springs in the 1800s with the discovery of gold in our mountains and streams. These mischievous elves, though hardly ever seen, were often heard singing and working. They guided many fortunate miners from harm's way into the gold they sought. Best by October 12th, 2015, so we're well within that range. This one, I believe, just came out. So we're going to pour her into this tulipy glass here, and as we do, we see, the brown ale kind of pour. Let's see, are we getting any head to this beer whatsoever? Barely any head. Okay, so 9% alcohol. Got a lot of alcohol, boozy legs, very, very little head to this beer. Just a slight film. I don't even know how I would measure the head to this thing. It almost kind of looks like a double. Definitely a heavier reddish kind of brown ale, if it is a brown ale after all. Started out pouring kind of like a brown ale, but it ended up just a little more red. So let's get the aroma of Tommyknocker Imperial Nut Brown Ale. Ooh, almost like a vanilla extract kind of smell to this beer. I'm getting a little bit of the maple syrupy kind of smell. Vanilla-y, maple syrupy. Doesn't really smell like a beer to me. I just put my teeth in it, which is kind of strange. Yeah, interesting aroma. The vanilla kind of overpowers everything else, but I do taste or smell the maple syrup as well. So let's get the taste now of Tommyknocker Imperial Nut Brown Ale. It tastes kind of like a stout, dare I say a Russian Imperial. I'm definitely getting that burnt kind of taste to it. Not really getting much of the nut brown kind of taste. Wow, ooh, boozy, man. Second taste is like, alcohol legs, big time. What's that taste that you get like tasting whiskey a little bit? 9%, huh? Get another one. Syrupy and a little bit medicine-y as far as the taste goes. And a little bit too boozy for 9%. I mean, 9% is pretty high in the ABV volume, but this kind of has the booziness of something above a 12%. It tastes like, but it's not, obviously. Interesting try. I'm not tasting much of the maple syrup, nor the vanilla. I'm smelling the vanilla, but I'm not really tasting much of the vanilla. It's just a lot of stout kind of qualities to this beer. So I'm going to go ahead and give Tommyknocker Imperial Nut Brown Ale a 6.5 out of 10. Decent appearance. Doesn't really have any head, though, which is kind of off-putting a little bit to me. I mean, if you have a beer, if it's beer, have a little bit of a head. I mean, even if you're a higher ABV, that's kind of what separates you from other ales. And the appearance, it's very dark and murky kind of looking. The aroma was interesting out there. And the taste tasted like a stout. I'm not really getting much of the maple syrup, which is a good thing, but not really wowing me over, and too boozy, just too alcohol leg heavy. And I like the higher ABV beers, however, when they're really potent in the alcohol taste, I tend to kind of not like that quite as much. So Tommyknocker Imperial Nut Brown Ale gets a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Thanks.